Hey, welcome back to Understanding Depression. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you for being here. I'm really glad you've joined us. If you find this podcast meaningful or helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. You never know who could benefit from just one mindful listen. Now, let's begin. Have you ever looked at someone who seemed completely fine on the outside, maybe even cheerful, high-achieving, always busy, and thought, wow, they really have it together? But what if I told you that sometimes the people who seem the most put together are actually fighting silent battles beneath the surface? That's what we're talking about today, a form of depression that often goes unnoticed because it hides behind a smile. This is sometimes called high-functioning depression. It's not an official clinical diagnosis, but the experience is very real. Many people with this type of depression still manage their day-to-day responsibilities. They wake up, go to work, care for their families, study hard, meet deadlines, and even joke and laugh with others. But inside, they feel numb, empty, or emotionally exhausted. Let me give you a few real-life examples. A stay-at-home mom who always has everything under control. Her kids are cared for, meals are cooked, and she seems so warm and friendly. A college student who's active in student organizations, gets decent grades, and always has a smile for everyone. Or an office worker who meets every deadline, never misses a meeting, and still goes out for after-work drinks with colleagues. They all look okay, but inside, they might be struggling to get through the day. They might feel like they're falling apart the moment no one is watching. You see, depression doesn't always look like someone curled up in bed, unable to move. Sometimes, it looks like someone who's constantly achieving, constantly helping others, but feeling hopeless or disconnected the entire time. That's why we need to be more aware, more mindful. Just because someone is productive doesn't mean they're okay. And just because someone is smiling doesn't mean they're not hurting. In the next episode, we'll dive deeper into the factors that increase the risk of depression, even for people who seem perfectly fine on the outside. So stay with us, and let's keep learning together. And again, if this episode spoke to you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. You never know who needs to hear this. So, let's talk about the why. Why would someone who seems to have it all together quietly battle depression? What makes high-functioning individuals, people who look fine on the outside, still vulnerable on the inside? Well, depression doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your resume, your daily routine, your family status, or your follower count. But there are some risk factors that can silently add up, especially for people who are used to carrying a lot on their shoulders. Perfectionism and high expectations. Some people push themselves relentlessly. They hold themselves to extremely high standards, academically, professionally, even socially. On the surface, it looks like success, but inside, they might feel like they're never enough. When perfection becomes the only acceptable outcome, even small setbacks can trigger self-blame, anxiety, or despair. Suppressed emotions. Many of us were raised to be strong, to keep it together, or to not burden others with our problems. So we smile, say I'm fine, and bottle things up. Over time, this emotional suppression can lead to a deep internal heaviness that no one else sees, because we never let it show. Chronic stress and burnout, whether it's caregiving, work deadlines, academic pressure, or financial strain, prolonged stress wears us down. And when the stress becomes chronic, it starts to affect our brain's chemistry. Suddenly, even getting through a normal day feels exhausting. But since we've been functioning for so long, we think we just need to push harder. That's when burnout turns into depression. Social isolation. Even in crowds, yes, it's possible to feel completely alone while being surrounded by people. Some of the most high-functioning individuals are also the most emotionally isolated. They might be the go-to person for advice, support, or leadership, but they rarely feel safe opening up themselves. Trauma and unprocessed grief, past experiences, like childhood trauma, loss, or major life transitions, can resurface in unexpected ways. Even if we moved on or got through it, unresolved emotional wounds can lie dormant until something triggers them. And when that happens, it can feel like the sadness came out of nowhere. These factors don't always look dramatic. They creep in slowly, masked by routines, responsibilities, and achievements. That's why it's so important not to judge someone's mental health by how busy or successful they are. We all have emotional layers beneath what others can see. In the next part, we'll explore how we can recognize the subtle signs of high-functioning depression in ourselves and in others. So if you've ever felt like something's wrong even when life seems fine, or if you care about someone who's always strong, stay with us. We're in this together, and you're not alone. Let's be honest, recognizing depression isn't always easy, especially when it hides behind a smile, a schedule, or a steady stream of "I'm okay." So how do we notice it? What are the signs that someone, maybe even ourselves, is silently struggling? Here are some of the subtle, less talked about signs of high-functioning depression. 1. Constant fatigue. Even after rest, you get 8 hours of sleep, but wake up tired. You get through your day, but everything feels heavier than it used to. It's not just physical tiredness, it's emotional exhaustion, a kind of weariness that rest alone can't fix. Loss of joy in everyday things. You're still doing what you've always done, working, studying, hanging out with friends, but it feels flat. The spark is gone. You're going through the motions, but things don't excite you like they used to. Irritability and frustration. This one often gets missed. Some people with depression don't feel sad all the time. They feel snappy, restless, or easily overwhelmed by small things. It's a quiet kind of inner turmoil, and it can show up as impatience or even guilt. Overthinking and self-doubt. You replay conversations in your head. You doubt your own worth, even if others praise your work. You keep pushing yourself because you feel like you're never doing enough, even when you're doing more than most. Social withdrawal. In subtle ways, you're still present, but you're not fully there. You start turning down plans. You text less. You stop opening up in conversations. Or you keep showing up for others, but no longer ask for help yourself. Feeling detached from yourself. Sometimes it feels like you're watching your life from a distance. You're functioning, but not really living. It's like being on autopilot, and deep down, wondering, what's the point of all this? These signs can be quiet. They don't scream for attention, but they matter. And if you notice them, in yourself or in someone close to you, please don't ignore them. It's okay to not have all the answers. What matters is that we stay open, honest, and gentle with ourselves and with others. In the next part, we'll talk about how to support someone who may be hiding their depression and how to seek help yourself, even when you feel like you should be fine. Stay with us. You're doing something powerful just by listening. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode if it resonates with you or someone you care about. Because sometimes, the strongest looking people need someone to truly see them. So, what can we do? How do we support someone who might be silently struggling? And just as importantly, how do we ask for help when we're the ones quietly carrying the weight? Let's start with supporting others. Don't assume everything's fine just because they're functioning. Check in with the people who seem okay. The ones who never cancel plans. The ones who are always there for everyone else. Ask how they're really doing, and then listen. Without rushing, without trying to fix. Just be there. Validate their experience instead of saying, "But you look so happy," or "You're doing great though, try this. I'm here if you ever need to talk." Or, "You don't have to go through this alone." Validation can be the lifeline someone needs to open up. Offer gentle consistency sometimes. People with hidden depression won't reach out, even when they want to. So you might have to be the one who texts first, or checks in again, not in a pushy way, but in a way that says, I care, and I'm not going anywhere. Now, what if you're the one hiding it? 1. Let go of the I should be fine narrative. Maybe you're used to being the strong one, the helper, the one who keeps it all together. But even strong people break sometimes. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Take small, brave steps. Start with one person, one sentence. Hey, I haven't been feeling like myself lately. D'être neuf. You don't have to explain everything right away. Just start. Consider professional help. Therapy isn't just for crisis moments. It's for untangling the quiet stuff too. The sadness that lingers, the numbness that grows, the anxiety that you've been carrying for years. A mental health professional can help you unpack it all at your own pace. Be kind to yourself. Healing isn't a race. Some days you'll feel strong, other days, not so much. But choosing to be honest about what you're going through, that's a powerful act of courage. And if you're still unsure whether what you're feeling counts as depression, don't wait for it to get worse. It's okay to talk to someone now. In our final part, we'll wrap up with a message of hope and some reminders you can carry with you any time that smile starts to fade. You're not alone. Not now. Not ever. If you've made it this far, thank you. Truly. Taking time to understand depression, especially the kind that hides behind a smile, is an act of compassion, not just for others, but for yourself too. So here's something I want you to remember. You don't have to look a certain way to be struggling, and you don't have to reach a breaking point before asking for help. Your pain is valid, even if no one else sees it. Your exhaustion is real, even if you're still showing up. And your healing? It's possible, even if right now it feels far away. Sometimes we wear smiles like armor. We keep performing, producing, giving, hoping it'll make the emptiness go away. But no amount of perfection can replace what the soul truly needs, to be seen, accepted, and supported, just as we are. So if today feels heavy, please be gentle with yourself. Décabrise. Reach out to someone you trust. Write it down. Cry if you need to. Rest if you can. And remember, your worth isn't tied to how well you hide your pain or how much you achieve. You are enough. Not because you're always strong, not because you never fall apart, but because you're human. And being human means we break, we feel, we heal, we grow, even if it's messy, even if it takes time. If this episode spoke to you or made you think of someone in your life, please share it. Let's keep spreading awareness. Let's keep making space for honest conversations. Let's remind each other that even behind the brightest smiles, some hearts might be quietly hurting. You're not alone in this, and you never have to pretend to be okay just to be loved. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of each other. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this podcast.